When Eddie Beaumaires was in his 20s, he struggled with drug addiction. Then a friend invited him to church.
As soon as I walked in there, I felt like if something was helping me. It was an experience that I cannot tell you, but all I can tell you was God. And that night, I got saved.
Eddie tried rehab, but was unsuccessful and returned to using heroin and cocaine.
I backslid, and I was empty. Really, I was empty. I was confused. I couldn't make decisions. I couldn't think. I couldn't sleep. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna go back. I want to go back. I want to ask God to take me back. I'm gonna beg Him to take me back.
In 1996, Eddie went to church and rededicated his life to Christ.
They lay hands on me. They pray for me. They turn me to the Lord.
Eddie also went to rehab and overcame addictions. He lived clean and sober for 5 years, and things were looking up when Eddie began experiencing abdominal pain. The years of IV drug use had caught up with him.
So that's when I went to the doctor. And the doctor told me that I had a liver disease and I had hepatitis T. And I said, well, I'm gonna die.
With medication, Eddie lived with the disease for over 15 years. Then one day, he had a revelation while watching one of his favorite shows, The 700 Club.
Something came to my mind, said, look, I belong to the Lord. I'm your son. Anybody who came to you, you healed. There's not one person in your word that says they didn't get healed. You healed them and you forgave their sins. Now, I'm your son. I want you to do the same for me.
Eddie began praying and called the prayer center at CBN.
I talked to a very nice lady. And when I was talking to her, I began to cry. I said, it's because of my sin that I'm like that. He said, look, Jesus didn't come to this world to save you and then to kill you from hepatitis or whatever disease you got. She prayed for me, and again, I felt the peace. I felt like God says, don't worry about it. I was already claiming victory.
Eddie continued to pray for healing.
After that, once in a while, I'll feel some short pains, but I say, you know what, Lord, I trust you, Jesus. I trust you. This is the enemy trying to contradict your blessing and your miracle, trying to tell me that I'm not completely healed, but I am healed, because if you heal me, I'm gonna stay healed.
One evening, Eddie attended a healing service at his church.
Whoever prayed for me, he said, I want to declare this man healed. I never told him about my hepatitis. He just wrote it up and said, from the top of his head to the bottom of his heels, he is completely healed. And when he said that, I felt some peace and happiness. I said, thank God.
A few weeks later, Eddie went to his doctor to get the results of some blood work.
So I go back, he said, Eddie, I got good news and bad news. I said, give me the bad news. He said, well, the bad news is that I'm gonna miss you. You won't be coming back to see me again, and you're a nice guy, and I'm gonna miss you. Now, the good news is that this is true. You're clean, you just like me, you're clean.
Eddie shows no signs of hepatitis or liver disease. Today, he is active in his local church and ministers to the homeless and to prisoners around Austin.
When God does something, He finishes it. Until the day that I leave this earth, until the day I go meet Him, I'm going to be healed. I'm so happy, that I want to tell everybody, as long as I live, I'm going to glorify His name.